what's up, everybody? This is Lauren Plant. This is Extra Point Live. We are just trying to scramble to get this thing going. So if you're watching us, if you're listening, welcome. Scott Bernstein here. What's up, my man?
First week of football season's like Christmas morning, Christmas Day, and New Year's all wrapped into one.
Oh, I know. It is. And we've got Matt Mowry here. What's up, Matt?
Not much. We had a little bit of Christmas Eve last night.
Yeah.
So,
Some fireworks.
Yeah, we did. I'm not sure which mic is working, so if you guys want to tell me which one's going, because I don't hear me in my headphones, so you just tell me, make sure that I'm live and that we're good. You hear me on this one? Okay, we're good? Okay. All right. Good. All right, gentlemen. Here's what we're going to do. So we've got, as you can see the rundown there on your screen, we've got games from last night. We got games from tonight. We're going to talk about. We've got some storylines we're going to get into. We're going to have a coach calling, Tim Connolly, the Southfield head coach. We're going to talk to him. Obviously, huge win today.
This could be the year everyone's waiting for.
Yes.
The trip to Ford Field.
Okay, we'll see. And then we're going to get into our stars of the week and our comment of the week. So 30 minutes, we're going to get this thing done. We're going to do it efficiently. But thank you so much for tuning in here, week one of the football season. Quickly, let me give you some scores, and then we'll talk about a few of these games, the ones that these guys want to talk about. Let's first quickly, we're gonna get into Thursday's games. Number 2 Belleville beats Salem 54-0. No surprise. Number 14 Saline fell to number 6 Chippewa Valley at the PKC 35-21. Orchard Lake St. Mary's defeated number 11 Macomb Dakota 28-14. New Lothrop wallops Lake City 54-7. Madison Heights Madison loses to Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central 32-22. Reading can't get on the board versus Pewaukee Westphalia. They lose 14-0, and number 12 DeWitt takes down Traverse City Central 31-26. Of the Thursday games, which is the one you want to talk about, Scott?
I want to make two quick notes.
Okay, go
First,
for it.
Madison Heights and Madison, this could be this is their first regular season loss since 2016.
Wow. It's been a while.
The Austin Brown era is over. I think his brother Dylan has stepped under center and taking some lumps. And the other thing I want to point out is that we've been mispronouncing Christian Reed's name. We've been saying Christian Dewey Reed,
yes.
But it's Christian Reed.
Okay.
So
we're giving him his proper due.
Threw for almost 3,000 yards last year,
Yes.
45 touchdowns, just an insane season in the stat column. And he started off with a 54-point effort in week one, so that's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Matt?
I'm looking at this list of scores, and New Lothrop just keeps rolling along. I mean, that's a program that.
It's all right. Just bring the mic towards you more. That's all. We're good. Yeah, it's all right.
Obviously, coming off a state championship last year, and they have their quarterback back in Avery Moore, and they've got their big running back in Will Miron, and we kind of figured that they would have a chance to at least start out strong. And I believe this is a rematch of semifinal game, quarterfinal game from last year. It was deep in the playoffs, I think, and that's a good team that they played. So that's impressive.
One more Thursday note. I want to talk about my jaunt out to Beck Road to see the Walled Lake Western Warriors take on the Lakeland Eagles. I didn't just see a football game. I saw 3 Mr. Football campaigns unspooled in week one. Zach Trainer, the highly touted junior quarterback, one of these kids that has Division I offers really before he's come into his own as a varsity quarterback. Started as a freshman at Heartland. Last year backed up Sam Johnson. His debut as an Oakland County signal caller was smashing. He was electric. 24 of 30, 340 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was surgical. C.J. Brown, the Northern Illinois commit, he believes that he's being underrated, didn't make a lot of top 20, 25 lists in the state, but he's a guy that is a two-way playmaker, equal to probably anyone we have in Metro Detroit, ran for 150 yards, made 15 tackles from a safety spot. He's going to Northern Illinois as a safety. And then the blue chipper on the squad, Abdul Rahman Yassin, just got eligible a week before the season. Everyone knew how good he was. He's going to Northwestern, and he showed it again. 7 catches, 200 yards, a 41-yard touchdown grab on the opening drive of the game.
Yeah, just recently eligible to play. Yep. The MHSAA ruled on that, and it was rightly so. Before we move into tonight's action, I do want to tell you guys, we got to give some love to the sponsors, of course. Lawrence Technological University, who sponsors Extra Point, as well as the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Hungry Howie's. All 3 of them just huge partners here on the State Champs Sports Network, and we couldn't do this without them. Go get a pie from Hungry Howie's. Support the MHSAA. MHSAA and what they're doing. Again, that's where you go to get your scores. That's where I get my scores on Friday night. Their website usually is really up to date and accurate. And of course, Lawrence Tech, 27 sports here now. Football starting up their first real season, and just so much happening here. It's amazing. So if you're interested in checking out, if you're in the market for a university, please give Lawrence Tech a look. All right, let's get into Friday's action real quick. Some of the stuff that happened tonight. Zeeland West earlier this afternoon got past East Grand Rapids 28-21. Rockford took care of Grand Rapids Christian 24-14. It was Cedar Springs at home who beat Saginaw Swan Valley 34-21. It was Birmingham Groves over Grosse Pointe South. That was a 4 o'clock game, 34-21. The game that I was at, Grand Rapids Central needs a late field goal. Grand Rapids Catholic Central needs a late field goal to beat number 13 River Rouge 17-14. Romeo at home takes care of Oxford 41-14. And it was Clarkston losing to Southfield A&T at West Bloomfield. That was the 3 o'clock game today, 28-14. We're going to talk to Coach Conley here in a few minutes. Muskegon at Warren De La Salle. That was a number 4, number 7 matchup, and it was all Big Reds.
They imposed their will from the opening kickoff.
41-7.
Ran wild.
Okay, and it was Oak Park and West Bloomfield. It was a number 1, number 3 matchup, and it was West Bloomfield taking care of the Knights 20-14.
Number 1 versus number 2 in Oakland County.
Yeah, it was a game. Obviously, it's the first weekend of the season, and both of the games at West Bloomfield today, the Clarkston Southfield A&T and the West Bloomfield Oak Park game, were very sloppy. A lot of penalties. Oak Park took the opening kickoff down to the 1 and punched it in and got on top of West Bloomfield right off the bat. But after that, it was kind of defense and special teams was kind of what won it for West Bloomfield, and that's a very good defensive unit. And then obviously Donovan Edwards broke a big run early on.
First touch of the game and first touch since he broke his leg last year, goes for a 60-yard touchdown.
No,
it wasn't.
Second touch,
because
he fumbled his first touch, which was the first contact he'd had in almost a year. And I even asked him about it after the game. He was on the sidelines basically just seething, wanting to touch the ball again. And then the second touch obviously goes 60 yards because you kind of knew if once he got the ball again, he was going to do something special, and that kid is special.
Not just the best running back in the state, but some people call him the best running back in the Midwest, and he's in the running for best tailback prospect in the country.
Yeah.
No doubt. How about your thoughts tonight?
Well, I got to see Groves versus Grosse Pointe South, and I think there's a real story brewing with the Groves Falcons over these last couple of years. They'd always been kind of a cutesy program. Every couple of years, they'd pop their head up under Brendan Flaherty in his first, let's say, 10 years on the job. But these last 5-6 years, especially the last 3, have really taken that program to a different level. They've made the Final Four 2 of the last 3 seasons in Division II, and every year they lose playmakers, and it's just next man up. Just like a true powerhouse program, you kind of overlook Groves when you're talking about the best programs in the suburbs. But they came out today at Wayne State and took Grosse Pointe South out to the woodshed. They were up 28-0. 4 turnovers in the first half, 3 quick turnovers turned into 3 touchdowns. Ralph Donaldson, a safety and a tailback, looked great on both sides of the ball. 50-yard touchdown or 50-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, and then scored 3 on the ground as a slot back tailback. Marcus Alexander, their senior quarterback, steady, about 8 for 12, 130 so yards, 1 touchdown, and then their starting tailback, Colby Taylor, had 130 yards rushing and just looked really tough in between the tackles. I think this Groves team is going to contend with Oak Park and that OA White. People are kind of assuming that Oak Park will run away with it, but you can never look past Groves. Brendan Flaherty and the crew have showed that these last couple of years.
Absolutely.
This has ceased to be, you can have one-off seasons where you have a special player or a special group of players come through, but this has become a program.
Yeah.
I mean, these are no longer, one-off seasons where you just kind of have a random pop-up.
And they play a very tough, disciplined brand of football where these kids it's kind of like they have a little bit of Catholic Central in them, just in the toughness factor. No matter who's lining up for the Groves Falcons, they're gritty, they're gutty, and they're going to play through the snap. No plays off.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have the detail that you guys have because I actually had to film the game. I didn't get a chance to sit in the press box and analyze all the numbers, but I will give you generalities. River Rouge, Grand Rapids, Catholic Central, 2 teams who are this was a good matchup from just a matchup perspective, and it was Grand Rapids Catholic Central who really were the better team tonight. River Rouge still kind of shaking off some of the rust, trying to kind of figure some things out. Didn't really have many big plays, and in the end, it was kind of some methodical drives that Grand Rapids Catholic Central were able to get their touchdowns. River Rouge came out of the gate in the second half to get theirs. CC drove the ball late, got a field goal late. 2 minutes left to go. They got an onside kick and recovered it, and that was all she wrote. But,
how did River Rouge's new quarterback, Marion Hrabowski, look?
He is a work in progress.
Athletic kid.
Big athletic kid. Missed quite a few targets today. But that's something that's gonna improve over time.
His dad was a star basketball player in high school and then played in the Big East at Boston College.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And, I would say for Rouge, they're going to be fine. They do have some good matchups later. They are going to play Southfield this year, and they are going to play Detroit Catholic Central this season. So besides, some not as good competition that they have.
Coach Parker doesn't shy away in his non-conference.
No, I mean they only lost 7-6 to the eventual D3 state champ King in the first round of the playoffs last year. So, and as for Grand Rapids Catholic Central, they're going to move on. They've got a really good team from Illinois coming in next week, and they've got so they're right there. They were in the semifinals last year in Division 4, so they're going to be strong again. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some storylines. So that's going to come up right after the break, so make sure you stay with us. Again, we'll be back in just 1 minute. Stick around.
You do know you want a contest to spend the whole day with me, right?
Good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to see her eat this delicious pizza?
We could do other things.
No, not really. Just after that.
I'm just talking to Keith. Yeah.
A little help.
You're going to call the coach? I would.
the best day ever! Some people will do anything for flavor. Now get a meal deal to fit any budget at the home of Flavored Crust.
Hungry? Yeah. So why don't you call him when we get in the MH? Oh, we're live. Sorry.
I chose Lawrence Tech for the architecture program and volleyball team. Architecture is a great fit for me because I love math and design. Now I combine them with technology to create beautiful structures. At Lawrence Tech, I didn't have to wait until my third year to start designing. Our hands-on education begins right from day one. And I'm really excited about LTU's Design Center in Detroit. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
Okay, hey guys. Well, I understand our mics were live during the commercial break, so hey, it's a good thing that we didn't say anything embarrassing. So, but we're trying to line up Tim Comley. He is lined up. He will be on the show. It's the Southfield head coach. We're gonna talk to him via the phone. That's gonna be coming up in a little bit. And by the way, if you're commenting on the YouTube Live or the Facebook Live page, we're gonna pick our favorite comment at the end, and you will be the comment of the week. So we will do that. And yeah. I know you guys want to hear about the UP and stuff, and we will get into that in future episodes. I promise you. In fact, we're going to have we'll get like a UP report, so we'll have somebody call and give us kind of, the whole 411. But remember, State Champs is your place for all high school football, and we will have some UP highlights on this week's show, which airs Sunday at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. Of course, just follow State Champs on social media, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, of course, Twitter now that allows extended video. We will have all our highlights posted tomorrow, so you can check out everything we've got from week one. Right now, we want to get into some storylines, and this is kind of just a grab bag kind of segment. I know that we've got a new playoff system that's going to be put out in 2020, and the elimination of the 6-win rule. What's your guys' quick thoughts on that?
I think it's a real thorny issue. You talk to some coaches and they love it, and they have their reasons for loving it, and then you talk to some other coaches and you're like, what's this endorsing? What's the Is there do the means justify the ends? with some coaches.
And there's a lot of wait and see too, because
Yeah.
a lot of the coaches that I asked about it, they're like, well, let's give it a couple years and see how it goes, and kind of waiting for that one team that gets in that maybe would not have in the old system. Then that's kind of I think what everybody's waiting to see how it works out.
And I think teams that are in tough conferences feel like they're being punished.
Yeah.
So I got a very split reaction from when I called all my Oakland County coaches to try to do a story about how they felt about this ruling. You talk to a couple of them and they were all jazzed and loved it, and you talk to some other ones and they were pretty passionately not in favor of it.
Okay. We touched on before the break the Abdur Rahman Yassin ruling. He's eligible again. Can you give just kind of a Cliff Notes version of what happened, why he was ineligible, and ultimately why you think they put him back on?
Well, he was homeschooled in his early years, and what ended up happening was that he was classified because he'd taken some advanced courses, some freshman level courses while he was still a middle schooler. He was classified as a 9th grader before he ever got into high school. And they thought that they'd kind of isolated that problem and fixed it academically, but apparently it had never been fixed
On the transcript.
on the transcript officially. And so it was when the MHSAA first got the paperwork, it didn't look like it looked like his semesters of eligibility. You only have a certain number of semesters in high school that you're eligible to play, and it looked like those had already expired because, as they said initially, he was a freshman a year before he thought he was a freshman.
But the state also admitted that even though he exhausted a year of eligibility when he was in 8th grade, he wasn't actually eligible to play high school football.
And he didn't play anything,
Right.
so he didn't use any eligibility. Right. So I think what ended up happening is that they got the ruling right in the end because they went back and they got some more information, and what they ended up saying was that this kid didn't really do anything to exhaust eligibility, and he needs to be able to play.
And the spirit of the rule
Yeah.
is to avoid 19 and 20-year-olds
Right.
from playing their senior year in high school. It's not to avoid a 17-year-old who's only played 3 years of high school football from enjoying a senior year
and that's
of
what
high
it
school
felt
football.
like, is that we were going by the letter of the rule, and now we're going by the spirit of the rule. And by the spirit of the rule, this kid needed to be able to. And there were a lot of people who were kind of upset initially that kind of had to go back and go, okay, well, the MHSAA got it right finally.
And this is a 4-point student that's going to Northwestern. His dad went to Michigan and Stanford. So, I mean, this is the type of person that MHSAA should be, in my opinion, be wrapping their arms around and embracing.
Absolutely.
All right. So,
But by the way, he looked great. I mean, you want to talk about no rust?
Yeah, right.
200 yards receiving in your first game of your senior year?
Yeah,
that's insane.
That is insane. What would you say are some key Week 2 matchups? Anything we're looking ahead to right now?
Groves West Bloomfield, a big crossover in the OA red and white. I don't expect Groves to win that game, but it also wouldn't shock me if they did.
Okay.
They've always played West Bloomfield real tough. In fact, I believe West Bloomfield had to forfeit a last-second Groves victory maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago. But I'm excited for that game, and I know that.
I know that I believe we're going to have King Muskegon next week.
I'm excited for tomorrow for King Catholic Central.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what's going on as far as how that's going to turn out. And we know that Cass Tech is playing Wendell Phillips, who is an outstanding school from Chicago, state champion. So that's going to be fantastic.
And with King, we're going to see
really good games tomorrow.
For Walled Lake Western, we saw the debut of the Zach Traynor era. For Detroit King, we're going to see the debut of the DJ Moore era. Dante DJ Moore, one of the most celebrated quarterbacks ever to kind of enter the PSL as a freshman. Kind of the last time you heard this type of buzz around a freshman was J. Rue Campbell, and you know what he did. On the positive side of things, he won 2 state championships in his first 2 years as a high school starting quarterback as a freshman and sophomore. And DJ Moore is more heralded coming into high school than J. Rue was. He already has, I believe, Michigan and Michigan State has offered DJ Moore before he's taken a snap of high school football.
Any thoughts on you next week?
Well, we're going to have a rivalry game out in the Thumb in Croswell-Lexington versus Yale.
Yes, I think you're going to be at that game.
I think I am.
Okay, all right.
And then obviously the big one is the Muskegon King, the
Yeah.
rematch from the D3 title game last year. Both teams lost a lot, and so it'll be interesting to see kind of who's reloaded faster, I guess.
Let's also do a quick shout out to the Farmington Hills Harrison regime that has moved over to North Farmington and taken over the Raiders program. John Harrington moving from the head coach slot to the assistant slot, and his protege John Herstein moving from the top assistant slot into the head coaching job. And they won their opener at North Farmington. The first time I think North Farmington's won an opener in 4 years or 5 years. They beat Waterford Kettering 35-30. And I heard from people that were at the game, it was kind of strange seeing John Harrington not the one, he wasn't the final play call. Herstein was the one that was making the final play call.
Nice. All right, cool. Hey, guys, the MHSAA TV website will have live streaming video of tomorrow's action at the Prep Kickoff Classic at Tom Adams Stadium on the campus of Wayne State University in Detroit. Jeremy Otto is going to have the call of the game between Detroit Catholic Central versus King at 1 p.m., followed up at 4 by Detroit Cass Tech against Chicago Phillips. Follow MHSAA TV all year long for live streaming video of high school sports. We're going to take a quick timeout for this week's MHSAA Minute. When we come back, we are going to talk to Coach Conley from Southfield.
You do know you want a contest to spend the whole day with me, right?
North Farmington.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to sit here and eat this delicious pizza?
We could do other things.
A little help?
Some people will do anything for flavor. Now get a meal deal to fit any budget at the home of flavored crust.
Hungry?
I chose Lawrence Tech for the architecture program and volleyball team. Architecture is a great fit for me because I love math and design. Now I combine them with technology to create beautiful structures. At Lawrence Tech, I didn't have to wait until my third year to start designing. Our hands-on education begins right from day one. And I'm really excited about LTU's Design Center in Detroit. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
All right, guys, it's time for our Coach Collins segment. Now we're going to do this every week, and we are going to talk to one of the coaches who is getting it done out there in high school football and talk about getting it done. Right now, this week, Southfield and Clarkston got together, and it was Southfield with a big win today, 28-14. Coach Conley on the line. Coach, thank you for holding on and joining us on our first show this season.
Hey, I'm here, ready to go. Yeah.
All right, well, we're ready to go. We're talking to you now. I got Scott Bernstein and Matt Mowry with me. Scott, just talk about this particular, just talk about this win and how you guys were able to pull it off today.
I can't say too much. We're going to play them in 5 weeks, so I don't want to say too much about the game. I will congratulate the kids and how hard they played. And, it's a great matchup for first game for us. But we're going to play them again week 6, so I don't want to say too much.
Right, exactly. I hear you. Obviously, every season you come in with tremendous expectations. And I'm sure that every season this is where you guys want to be. You're good. You're good. We're doing a live show here trying to get Scott in front. But, getting the kids motivated, and having, such a tough matchup. Just talk about the week of practice and how you guys felt heading into this particular matchup.
It's one of those things where you just try to concentrate on your team and what you're doing, and maybe it made it easier for us this year because we knew we were going to play the team twice, and it's an Oakland County team. But we just try to focus on what we're doing and what we can control. So we, obviously Clarkston's a great opponent, and it's a very difficult matchup for a week 1. But we, week 1, week 6, we're playing them twice. So it's a lot, not too much to say.
No, I hear you. We're talking with Coach Tim Conley, the head coach of Southfield High School, beat Clarkston today, 28-14.
Hey, Coach, Scott Bernstein here. Kind of talk about this vaunted receiving core quarterback combination you have. You got Anthony Romp, kind of an RPO specialist, might be the best quarterback in the state right now, going to Florida Atlantic, and he's got a bevy of weapons to throw the ball to. Christian Fitzpatrick, who's going to Washington State, Aaron Folks, a slot receiver who's going to Eastern Illinois, Jeff Bowens, who's a speedster, and then maybe the piece de resistance, Robert Army, a junior transfer from Detroit Renaissance, whose recruiting is really starting to ramp up. Just to talk about those weapons.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with those guys. We are fortunate to have some really good kids at Southfield, and the situation that we had with Robert Army and Jeff Bowens has been wonderful for us. Rump has really he's dialed in. He's a really tough competitor, and he's ready to roll. So it's been really nice. But today, Raquan Lee, our running back, and he had a hell of a game. He had 196 yards rushing, and it was just something else. But he wouldn't have been able to do that without the receivers that we had.
Do you think it's because everyone was preparing for the passing attack, the high-powered vertical assault, and then you kind of sleight of hand throw Lee out there and kind of surprise people?
I mean that helped him out. I mean, he's a really strong kid though, and you could see that in his running style. So it helped though that they were really conscious of a kid like Kristen Fitzpatrick, wonderful kid and great receiver.
Caught a touchdown today, right?
Yeah, he caught a touchdown today. Yeah.
Yeah, talk a little bit more if you could, Coach, about Raquan. This was his first career start, wasn't it? He
was a JV kid last year. He's a great kid, hard worker. One of those kids that's like one of those strong kids in the weight room, working out hard. And we had a good feeling about him. We thought, hey, this is going to be our guy. And today he really showed it.
He was kind of powering through some tackles there. I mean, he's a hard kid to bring down, isn't he?
Yeah, he has some. First of all, he has some really good holes to run through, and then he did a really nice job not letting one person take him down.
Big Ray McDonald open up some holes for him?
I'm sorry?
I said, did Big Ray McDonald open up some holes for him?
Oh, yeah. The O-line did great, and Raymond had a great day, and so did Tumar Nelson. Just really did a nice job. I mean, going against Clarkston and worrying about the kids that they have on their D-line and their O-line, I mean, that's a big concern, and the guys did a great job.
All right. Well, hey, Coach, we appreciate you coming on tonight. Congratulations. I know the boys, put all that work in, and tonight they're feeling good about themselves, feeling good about their team and the Warriors, and good luck in week 2, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, great.
All right,
Lake
take
Orion's
care.
coming up. Yeah.
Thanks, Timmy.
All right, Lake Orion. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't get
nice,
easy.
nice
It's gonna be
dub.
tough, yeah.
Nice dub by Lake Orion this week.
Yeah,
They beat
and
Lapeer.
they beat Lapeer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
17-7.
I know, that's a great win for him, yeah.
Yeah, so all right, good battle. Well, it doesn't, we know the division you play in. It doesn't get any easier all season long. So good luck.
Even the
All right,
team
thank
that's
you.
picked last in that league has a Division I kid from Bloomfield Hills, Alec Ward, and possibly the quarterback Tanner Solinski. So it shows you how tough that conference is.
All right, guys, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
You do know you want a contest to spend the whole day with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to sit here and eat this delicious pizza?
We could do other things.
A little help?
Some people will do anything for flavor. Now get a meal deal to fit any budget at the home of flavored crust.
Hungry?
I chose Lawrence Tech for the architecture program and volleyball team. Architecture is a great fit for me because I love math and design. Now I combine them with technology to create beautiful structures. At Lawrence Tech, I didn't have to wait until my 3rd year to start designing. Our hands-on education begins right from day 1. And I'm really excited about LTU's Design Center in Detroit. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
All right, welcome back, guys. It is time for our Stars of the Week, and in this segment, we will do just a few of our poor Scott Mercy. He's getting kicked out of the screen here. Our rundown is taking up most of his face. We'll get these kinks worked out. It's funny, though, if you're watching. It's all right. We hear you, though, man. We hear you. You are present. Stars of the Week, Matt, who you got?
I wanted to point out someone that I saw the first half of the game between Goodrich and Flint Powers last night, and Tyson Davis Davis from Goodrich is electric. I believe he touched the ball 4 times in the first half, not including the one that got called back that was an 85-yard touchdown run. He ran back a kickoff. He ran a short screen pass that he caught about 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, ran at 60 yards. That kid is going to blow up this season. This is his junior season, and I believe what I was told is he's the younger brother of Tania Davis, the Miss Basketball from Goodrich. So that's a very, very athletic family, and he was electric. But he got a little nicked up during the game, and I'm not sure how they were supposed to finish it up this morning, but I didn't see how it finished in the second half. But he was somebody that made waves last year as a sophomore, and he's going to continue to do that as a junior.
He's a 2-sport star. He's a
Yes.
Division I level point guard too on the basketball floor, and has started, I think, in both sports since his freshman year.
Yep.
You have somebody?
Just want to shout out someone on the defense for Walled Lake Western. I didn't throw out the score when I talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Western beat Lakeland 41-16. They commanded that entire game, snap to snap, sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone. But Brandon Camfield, their senior middle linebacker, team captain, at 16 tackles. Quarterback, that defense was just going ham. Just was like a lit fuse on defense, and the big names are on offense, but they're going to need those type of players on the defensive side of the ball in the secondary, helping out a guy like C.J. Brown if this team is going to win a league title in the LVC. And in the preseason poll in the LVC, they were ranked fourth. And they're playing with a chip on their shoulder right now.
That hand you see on the screen is that of Scott Bernstein. So I do want to give a quick shout out to Chippewa Valley running back Myron Harris.
Yeah.
He had 177 yards, 23 carries, couple of scores, beast mode yesterday. And
great.
Selene's a tough team, and they play good defense.
New quarterback too, Calco, right?
Absolutely, and that is yes, exactly.
Baby Calco.
That's right. He is the brother of the other Calca, who is here at Lawrence Technological University throwing the ball. So this is Josh Kolka, who was replacing a 3-year starter in Tommy Schuster.
Yep.
So he was solid, 11 to 12 passing in the opening
Let's
quarter.
also
a lot of crossing passes.
Before we leave, shout out Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Yes.
First time in the modern playoff era, they missed 2 postseasons in a row in 17 and 18.
Yeah.
Big win, going to Dakota,
And win.
Close game, score what became the game-winning touchdown in the final minutes, and then a pick six in the final seconds to clinch that thing.
Our top 25 is going to change this
Yes,
week. There's no question. All right, guys, we're going to take one more break, but this is an informative break. We're going to run this week's recruit report with Alan Truce. You're going to get that now. We'll come back with our comment of the week and wrap up the podcast.
This is Alan True from 24/7 with this week's State Champs Recruit Report presented by My Student Aid. The latest major commitment happening in the state of Michigan was Detroit King offensive tackle DeAndre Buford choosing the Kentucky Wildcats, a school that has enjoyed a lot of recruiting success in the state so far this season. A 6'5", 275-pound athletic left tackle prospect, Buford now joins Oak Park's Justin Rogers and Flint Beecher's Ernest Sanders as Michiganders in the Wildcat class. Buford was a major part of King State's title run as a junior and chose the Wildcats over nearly 30 other scholarship offers. Another junior in the state of Michigan that's receiving a lot of attention is Southfield A&T's Caleb Banks, 6'5", 260 pounds, and can play defensive end or offensive tackle. He used summer camp circuit to earn new offers from Maryland, Temple, and several other schools, but his most recent offer came from Florida Atlantic, and he will visit the Owls on September 7th. They already have a commitment from his quarterback, Anthony Rumpf. Another class of 2021 prospect who used camps as a springboard this offseason was Belleville linebacker Jamari Budden. He was the linebacker MVP at the opening regional in Ohio and has used that to earn double-digit offers since then from major schools including Florida State, Penn State, and more. Budden will visit both in-state schools, Michigan and Michigan State, the first week of the season as they play their openers on different days. For this week's State Champs Recruit Report, presented by My Student Aid, I'm Alan True.
The Recruit Report is brought to you by My Student Aid, Michigan's go-to resource for student financial aid. Go to michigan.gov/MIStudentAid for more information. All right, hey guys, welcome back.
I'm back.
There he is.
That ugly mug.
We're gonna wrap it up here. Every week we're gonna do our State Champs Comment of the Week, which is presented by the MHSAA. So again, thank them for being sponsors of the show, as well as Lawrence Tech and Hungry Howie's. And hope you guys are enjoying this. We're looking at the comments. We enjoy it. Matt Osterman is a fan from from years, and so it's good to see you there. And he wants to see Jenna one day here on a Friday night. You will see her. I promise you. That is homework for her that she needs to come in because she's starting to cover
schooling
some
her on
games.
some football.
Good.
She didn't know the difference between a carry and a rush. I'm like, they're the same thing, Jenna.
Yeah, do not share that
Okay,
information.
sorry.
She knows everything. All right.
She's so bright.
Quickly, on Facebook, Brian Phelps said, I'm curious who was at quarterback for Muskegon. There's talk of Martinez playing more running back.
Yes, he's going to play running back. He's going to play receiver. He's going to play defensive back. He's going to return some kicks. But they're going to basically put him in the role that he's probably going to be in at Ohio State.
Good.
And they have I believe it's Monty Corley. I may be forgetting the name, but they have a junior who's going to play when Martinez moves out from under center. He'll be taking the majority of the snaps in his place, and it's just an opportunity to get him the ball in space a little more.
All right, on YouTube, student James Barnett said, "State champs, please don't talk about Clarkston because I managed the varsity team and we played Southfield and lost." Well, we couldn't avoid that one, but you guys are going to be just fine.
And Dellinger wasn't playing tonight, so
he did not play. No,
you got an All-American that was sitting out, so that makes a difference.
And Hayden Reamer's comment was, "North Farmington did pretty good. Love your show. Watch it weekly." So
they got a nice quarterback.
Much,
I'm going to butcher his name. It's like Borizima. He came over from Cranbrook. He's 6'4". It's got a sturdy build, and Mill the Thrill Coleman, who runs that offense, is really excited about having him under his tutelage for the next 2 years.
Guys, let me tell you, we could sit here and talk for 2 more hours. There is no question that we could do this. We love talking about this stuff, but we know that we have to keep these things kind of short. This, I know, went a little bit longer than we wanted to, but we will tighten it up. We appreciate everybody who checked it out. Maybe you're watching a replay. We'll be here all 15 weeks. It's Extra Point Live. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.